Hey everybody, welcome back to Swift Lessons. Today another tutorial just for the beginners out there. When I was first starting to get my bearings as a guitar player, one of the things I would do that was always very fruitful is just learn the main riffs of my favorite songs and then use them as kind of finger exercises, being sure to practice nice and slow, very meticulously, so I could get down all the nuances. And always at the top of the list were riffs written by the late great Kurt Cobain. And this is because Nirvana riffs are always very simple, but super catchy, and also in part, essential techniques that will help you get to the intermediate level. So in today's lesson, I want to share with you 5 beginner-friendly, must-know Kurt Cobain riffs, and also introduce to you 2 pedals that were always a part of his setup. And that is the small clone chorus pedal by Electro Harmonix, and we'll also be utilizing the DS2 Turbo Distortion by Boss. Okay, as always, I got extra resources for you at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Support the channel there and gain access to chord sheets, tabs, backing tracks, and a ton of other stuff. Now, let's get started. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, getting started with riff number 1. When you think of Kurt Cobain's guitar playing, this is likely the first riff that comes to mind. I'm talking about Smells Like Teen Spirit. For beginners, this is an excellent tune for practicing power chords, but also those muted strums or those chicka chickas. To get that really deep, growling early 90s grunge tone, we're gonna click on the DS2 Turbo Distortion. Looks and sounds like this. Okay, so that's pretty simple. We're starting off with an F power chord, 1st fret of the low E string, and 3rd fret of the A string. We're gonna play down, up, down, just on those 2 strings. All right, next we're going to cover the strings completely and play chicka chicka, down, up, down on muted strings. All right, then bring the power chord down to the floor and play down, 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 up as you remove your fingers on the last stroke. Right? You put that in the context and we have a measure of music. Alright, then we're going to do the exact same thing, but bring it up to the 4th fret position. You put those 2 measures of music together and we have. Of course, we have that really heavy distortion there, and when the verse comes in, he switches to clean but turns on that small stone chorus to get that effect that you hear in the verse and also in the guitar solo. Okay, now taking a look at riff number 2, Come As You Are. We're going to engage the small clone chorus pedal. A 1, 2, 3. Once again, very simple, but super catchy. This is actually one of the first riffs I ever learned on the guitar, and I found it helpful to kind of sing along, saying the fret numbers as I played. So, we're playing. Oh, oh, 1, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, 2, 1, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, oh, 1, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, 2, 1, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, oh, 1, 2. And if you like, you can finish it up with this F sharp 7 add 11 chord. Just an F sharp bar chord, but with the B string and the high E string open. And with that chorus pedal, it sounds amazing. Okay, so keep your pick alternating, practice that really slow, it's great for beginners. Alright, if you can do that, then you're ready to move on to riff number 3. Okay, now jumping into riff number 3, Heart-Shaped Box. In this example, Kurt finds another earworm, this time using drop D tuning. Alright, That sounds about right. Use this riff to develop your alternate pick and accuracy across 4 strings. Looks and sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, breaking that down, keep in mind that in the original track, not only is Kurt tuned to drop D tuning, but he also has all the strings tuned down 1/2 step. But we're just going to keep it in standard drop D tuning for ease of learning. Okay, so we're starting off barring the D string and the G string with the index finger on the 2nd fret. And we're going to pluck this chord apart, keeping our pick alternating. So A, D, G, D. All right, now with that low E string tuned down, we're going to use our middle finger and bar across the low E string, A string, and D string of the 3rd fret and play. The same pattern, but now we're playing E, A, D, A. All right, you put those 2 chords together and we have 1 measure of music. All right, next, all open strings we're going to play E, A, D, A, D, A. Okay, from there we're going to repeat measure number 1. And then we're going to play. Alright, I remember learning this for the first time and thinking it was so cool and so dissonant. I'm hitting the low E string open, and then sliding 3 to 4 on the D string, tapping that note twice, so. Alright, then the open A string, back to 4, and then a tritone, 3rd fret of the A string. Alright, put that into context and we have. Alright, then we're going to strike both notes together, 3 and 4 of the A string and D string, and then upstroke on those same strings open. Okay, very weird little lick here. So put it together real slow. Alright, it's okay if you just hit the D string open there at the end. You put that entire riff together and we have heart-shaped box. Okay, now moving on to riff number 4, All Apologies. In this example, Kurt's combining this very catchy melody with this hypnotic drone note that he's once again getting from the drop D tuning. As an exercise, it's going to challenge your alternate pick and accuracy, but also your sense of rhythm and dynamics. It looks and sounds like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Breaking that down, for ease of learning, let's learn the melody first. It consists of 3 unique phrases. Then we'll add in the drone note, which Kurt kind of implements spontaneously. Okay, so phrase number 1 looks and sounds like this. Alright, so that's 9, 9, 10, 9, 10 sliding up to 12, 12, 12, 10, 9. Alright, you add in the drone note and we have. Alright, then the next phrase is going to sound like this. Alright, so that was low E string twice. Alright, then we're going to play 10 on the A string, down to 9, and then slide 10 to 12 on the D string. Tap that note twice before going down to 10, and then 9. It's kind of like a call and response, right? So. Alright, you put those 2 phrases together and we have, with the drone note, dronin'. Now, I listened to the unplugged version really closely, so if you look at the tab, you'll see precisely where those drone notes go in that version, but if you listen to various versions and also the album version, you'll notice that it's different every time. Okay, so once again. All right, next we're gonna repeat phrase number 1. All right, and then we're gonna finish up with. Okay, so that final phrase was 9, 9, 10, 9. All right, then the G string 11 down to 9, and then 12 on the D string. But here he uses the open D string to drone. Okay, put that final phrase together and we have. Alright, and the entire intro riff, for all apologies, should sound like this. Okay, now jumping into our fifth and final riff, Lithium. This is an excellent example of how to implement percussive elements into your playing, but also slide in power chords and chord arpeggiation. Looks and sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a very cool riff in the key of E. We're back in standard tuning, but keep in mind, as I mentioned before, Kurt was almost always tuned down a half step, so if you want to jam along with the original track, you'll need to tune down. Okay, taking this measure by measure, getting started with measure 1 real slow, looks and sounds like this. Okay, so pretty simple, an E power chord, 2nd fret of the A string, open low E. Next, a dead stroke. You can kind of slap the strings when you do that. All right, after that, we're gonna play the open low E string, then form a G sharp power chord, 4 and 6, picking that apart. So far you have 1, 2, and 3, and. All right, then finishing up the measure, another dead stroke, followed by the open low E. All right, that's one measure of music right there. Should sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. It's so helpful to count and play as you go. All right, next, measure 2 is gonna look and sound like this. Real slow. All right, so that was a C sharp power chord. I've got the 4th fret of the A string and the 6 frets of the D string and the G string. I like to use a bar, but you can also use your pinky if you like. Either way, we're going to play the root note first. All right, then we're going to downstroke on the D string and G string, followed by another dead stroke. So, all right, next the open low E, then an A power chord arpeggio, followed by the open low E string. We put that together and we have measure number 2. All right, and measures 1 and 2 together should sound like this. Okay, that gets us to measures 3 and 4, which look and sound like this. Okay, so right there, we're playing a C5 power chord, frets 3 and 5 on the A string and D string. We're gonna play down, down, up, slide up a full step. All right, so down, down, up, down, up, down, up. At the very last upstroke there, making sure to hit a little bit of that open A string. All right, now the exact same rhythm technique, but we're gonna use the B5 power chord on the 2nd fret, still sliding up to fret 5 though. Okay, put all that together and we have the full riff for Lithium. Let's see if you can play along. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and. All right, friends, thanks so much for checking out this Nirvana guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftLessons. I hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up, so keep checking in. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.